How do you survive in the mountains with enemies running after you, who hate you and want to destroy you at any cost? Hi friends, today I'm going to tell you about a movie from 2022 called Black Box. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like it. Enjoy watching it. The whole unimaginably complicated situation is shown in the movie On the Edge. In it, as if trapped, is the main character, Kelly. The girl herself is a mountaineer. She comes to the mountains in Italy to make the climb. Unfortunately, her plans fall apart. Kelly happens to witness the murder of her friend, Sophie, by a gang, but she manages to record their atrocity on camera. Unfortunately, the criminals notice the girl and start chasing her. They now want to literally get her on top of the biggest peak so they can massacre her and take the camera as proof of their atrocity. But Kelly herself by no means intends to give up and will fight to the end. She runs away from them, climbs mountains. This is where the humanity of this heroine, her great bravery, comes into play. She herself is in mortal danger, but she is willing to risk her life to tell the truth, so that people will know about the injustice done to her friend. Kelly is extraordinarily resilient both internally and physically. Of course, her athletic training helped her, and a lot, but I think the key strength for her was her unbroken spirit. It helped her to overcome obstacles that are almost impossible to overcome. The main villain, the leader of the company that is chasing the heroine, is just a terrifying type. Angry at the world, unimaginably cruel, he is constantly pouring dirt on all women. The villain is willing to go to the most terrible lengths to get hold of the camera on which Kelly recorded the crime he committed and get rid of how anyone can be such a monster at all. It's a real antagonist, and an absolute villain. And I really wish the whole time I was watching that the heroine had defeated him. The incredible resilience of Kelly, her desire to fight no matter what is just amazing. Even more so in what conditions she has to save her life, the intense cold in the mountains, the lack of equipment, the loneliness. The frightening realization that the killers are close, they are just around the corner. But Kelly doesn't lose her composure anyway and continues on her way. She is face to face with her enemies, who are not going to spare her, and holds on with unprecedented dignity. The cliffs are steep, and it takes great agility and basic luck to even stay on them, and Kelly has yet to run from the chase and save her life. When one is up against the elements, it's hard, but when one is still up against enemies, it's 1,000 times harder. The heroine is at a height where only once made a wrong step or stumbled, you can fall down. Every move is worth extraordinarily carefully calculated. Because every jump can be fatal, but Kelly is still very helpful. Confidence in his right, her personal goal, a huge motivation. Not only did Kelly keep her cool, but she was also very adept at using her practical skills. What is the most important thing in such a critical situation? The ability to navigate quickly. And I loved so much how the heroine displays her wit and resourcefulness. Kelly is quite flawless at thinking through her course of action, and I rejoiced whenever she managed to outwit her pursuers. She doesn't do anything rash, because she knows that it's up to her to save herself. And wit is her faithful weapon against the stupidity and malice of her opponents. The main character is also very determined. After all, even to dare to climb mountains, not easy, but she was able to make his choice, fight, even if it is very terribly scared, and she is so understandable. After all, even a super brave person still experiences confusion and apprehension. The protagonist is dizzy and unimaginably uneasy at such a great height, and her fears are also naturally increased by the sight of bandits, but Kelly's common sense and ability to coolly calculate everything still takes over. She knows how to stay focused without letting her fears run wild. Despite the fact that there are more opponents. Despite the fact that the fight promises to be hard. After all, the brave person is the one who doesn't let fear take over. Fear is experienced by all people, but there are critical moments when you just need to cope with it. That's when courage, persistence, and will come to the rescue, and I would even say that Kelly's equanimity is a very effective weapon she possesses against the stupid and evil stalkers who are obsessed with her capture. Very touching in the film are the heroine's memories of her boyfriend, who was also a climber and died in the mountains. These episodes represent happy moments in Kelly's life, and she does not let them out of her mind and heart. The flashbacks create a contrast between her happy life before the terrible events and her dire situation at the time of the film. The heroine is extraordinarily worrying for her throughout the film, especially when her enemies are already so close. The film keeps you in great suspense, and at certain moments this tension heats up to the limit. The chase process is filmed extremely dynamically, and the viewer worries every second that Kelly manages to get away. And when the heroine clashes with her enemies, you just want to reach across the screen and help her. There's a tremendous sense of suspense in the confrontation. Whenever she finds herself in a difficult situation, I wish that everything had been resolved itself generally hostile, but, worst of all, the only people around are sworn enemies, and I hoped, if only Kelly's wit would prevail, if only she would outplay these bandits. I liked this movie so much for its message of staying brave and fighting for your life, even when one is in a situation that seems inevitable to lose. And sanity and judgment should never be lost. Is it difficult? Naturally, but that's the willpower to keep them and stay true to yourself. It is wonderful when a person is physically trained, but even more strength comes from his own unbroken nature, which supports him, like an invisible support, all the way. Confidence in his rightness, courage and nobility allow a person to overcome obstacles. If one is sure that it is worth fighting, one should not give up for anything. This is the end of the movie. If you liked this video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like it. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.